Ravens fan, Baltimore's offseason may be about to make a huge mistake that could jeopardize the team's future. The front office is considering cutting Kyle Van Noy, a key player in the Ravens defense in 2024 with 12.5 sacks. Despite his impressive performance, this decision could weaken a crucial area of the team and directly impact their chances of success in 2025. The big question is it worth giving up such an experienced leader for financial reasons? Cutting Van Noy could leave the defense more vulnerable and weaken their Super Bowl pursuit. Stick around until the end because this choice could change the direction of the Ravens season and affect the team in ways you can't imagine. Go Ravens! Kyle Van Noy came to the Ravens as an experienced addition, but few expected him to have such a significant impact on the defense. With 12.5 sacks, he posted a career high and became an essential piece in Mike Macdonald's system. On top of that, his role went beyond statistics, bringing leadership and experience to a group that was already one of the best in the league. His presence helped keep the defense aggressive and disciplined, which was vital to the team's success in the 2024 season. Despite this impressive performance, Van Noy's stay for 2025 is far from guaranteed. It's not about talent or effort, but rather the financial impact and roster planning. At 34 years old next season, his $6.1 million contract could be considered high for a player at that age, especially on a team that needs to manage its salary cap well. The Ravens could opt to extend his contract to ease the cap hit, but such moves always involve risks, especially with a veteran. Another factor weighing on this decision is the need for renewal at the position. Although Van Noy has played at a high level, the Ravens know they'll eventually need to find a younger replacement. The team has a history of knowing when to move on from veterans, and this might be one of those situations where Baltimore chooses to invest in the next generation. What makes this decision even harder is that Van Noy has shown no signs of declining, which might make the team hesitate before taking a final step. If the Ravens choose to cut Van Noy, they'll need an immediate solution to fill that gap in the defense, whether through the draft, free agency, or a name already within the roster. This move could directly impact the team's defensive structure. The big question is, are the Ravens prepared to move on without Van Noy, or could this cut create an even bigger problem for the defense? The Ravens have always been a team that manages the salary cap well, and any move needs to be made with intelligence. In the case of Kyle Van Noy, the issue isn't just the value of the contract, but the cost-benefit of keeping a 34-year-old player on the roster. With a $6.1 million cap hit in 2025, and a cost of just $1.6 million in dead money if cut, Baltimore might see the savings as a strategic move to strengthen other areas of the team. Every dollar counts, especially when the team needs to renew important contracts and still look for reinforcements to stay competitive. Furthermore, keeping Van Noy for another year might mean missing out on other opportunities in the market. The Ravens have some positions that need reinforcement, and freeing up that cap space could allow them to sign a younger player or even extend the contract of a current talent. The team has a history of making tough decisions for the greater good, as they've done in the past by letting veterans go at the right time. This is a dilemma the franchise faces. Keep a productive but aging player, or create space for much-needed renewal. On the other hand, cutting Van Noy without a solid plan to replace him could be a risk. The Ravens' defense was one of the best in the NFL in 2024, and much of that success came from the experience and leadership of players like him. Removing such an important piece without a worthy replacement could be costly, especially in a league where pressure on the quarterback is critical. If Baltimore chooses to make this move, they'll need a well-defined strategy to ensure the defense doesn't lose its identity. If the Ravens decide to go without Van Noy, the search for alternatives needs to begin now. One of the most obvious options would be to look to the draft, where the team could find a young pass rusher to step into that role. The Ravens have always been a team that heavily relies on the draft to renew their defense, and this could be the way forward if Kyle Van Noy really doesn't stay. The 2025 draft class has some interesting talents at the position, and Baltimore could consider moving up a few spots to secure a player with immediate impact potential. One name already catching attention is Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M, who combines size and explosiveness, essential traits for an elite pass rusher in the NFL. If the Ravens see him as a worthy replacement, it wouldn't be a surprise to see them aggressively pursue his selection. Moving up in the draft, however, would require a cost. The team would need to trade future picks or even include a player in the package to achieve a good positioning. This is a strategy the franchise has used before, but always in a calculated manner. With Lamar Jackson leading an explosive offense, investing heavily in the defense could be a smart move to maintain team balance and continue competing at the top of the AFC. Everything will depend on how the draft board unfolds and which options are available when it's time to choose. Besides Stewart, there are other names that could be considered if the Ravens don't make such an aggressive move. Players like Dallas Turner and JT Tumalo also present interesting traits and could fit well into Baltimore's defensive scheme. The most important thing is ensuring the defense doesn't lose strength at the pass rusher position, which was one of the team's strong points in 2024. Finding a young, talented piece to replace Van Noy could be the key to keeping this unit among the best in the league. Whether through the draft or free agency, the Ravens will need to act decisively to cover this possible loss. And within the roster, there's an internal solution that could help minimize this impact. Well, we're past the halfway point of the video, but I noticed you still haven't liked this video. It's really important for YouTube to keep recommending my content to you, so please leave a like. It's free and it helps a lot. Thanks. Now let's keep going. Although the draft is an interesting option, the Ravens could also look within their own roster before seeking a replacement for Kyle Van Noy. The team has young talents and developing players who may be ready to take on a bigger responsibility. Odafe Oweh, for example, had standout moments last season and could be one of the names to gain more playing time if Van Noy leaves. He has already shown the ability to pressure the quarterback, and with more experience, he could evolve even further within the system. Another name worth mentioning is David Ojabo. The young defender came to the NFL with high expectations, but faced challenges with injuries that hindered his development. If he can stay healthy, he could become a key piece for the Ravens' rotation in 2025. His talent has never been questioned, and now he may have the perfect opportunity to prove himself. Furthermore, Baltimore has shown in the past that they know how to develop pass rushers within their system, and Ojabo could be the next to benefit from that. In addition to the players already on the roster, the Ravens could also explore the free agent market for a veteran who might accept a more affordable contract. Experienced players who can still contribute without requiring a large financial investment could be a viable alternative. This approach would allow the team to maintain flexibility with the cap, while strengthening the defense with a reliable name. Whether promoting a young talent or seeking an option in the market, Baltimore will need to make a well-calculated decision. And while the defense searches for a new leader in the pass rush, the impact of Van Noy's departure could be even greater than it seems. The departure of Kyle Van Noy affects not only the technical side, but also the emotional and strategic aspects of the Ravens' defense. His leadership was crucial in 2024, helping keep the defense disciplined and ready for key moments. He was a pivotal piece in communication on the field, guiding teammates and ensuring the team was always well-positioned. Losing a player with this presence could create an impact larger than just opening a spot on the roster. The Ravens' history shows that the team values players with this kind of leadership profile, and Van Noy's departure would create a vacuum that would need to be filled. Head coach John Harbaugh has always highlighted the importance of having veterans who serve as role models for younger players, and Van Noy played this role perfectly. His playoff experience and performance in crucial games added a unique edge to the defense, something that isn't easily replaced. In the long run, this change could also alter the identity of the defensive unit. The aggression and tactical intelligence Van Noy brought helped elevate the group's level, and the team will need to ensure that this mentality continues, regardless of who is on the field. Finding a replacement for his skills on the field is a challenge, but maintaining the same level of leadership and experience might be even more difficult. The Ravens must decide if they're ready to move on without Van Noy, or if it's still worth keeping him for another year. What's clear is that any choice will have a direct impact on the future of the defense and the construction of the roster for the upcoming season. Cutting Kyle Van Noy could be one of the most risky decisions the Ravens make this offseason. He was essential to Baltimore's defense in 2024, with 12.5 sacks and leadership that was crucial in decisive moments of the season. Letting go of such an experienced and productive player could weaken the team's defense, leaving a difficult void to fill. The big question is freeing up cap space worth losing a player who has so much to offer, especially with the 2025 season approaching? Will the Ravens make this mistake and risk their chances of contending for the Super Bowl in 2025? Or could this choice be the key to restructuring the team in the long term and exploring other options to strengthen the defense? Do you think cutting Van Noy could be a fatal move for the Ravens' future or a necessary play? Leave your opinion in the comment, because this decision could change everything for Baltimore. And subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the offseason news and the future of the franchise.